What is going on, New York Giants fans? Welcome to another video from Hit Squad Productions. And in this video, I wanted to take a look at the New York Giants secondary, primarily at the cornerback 2 position, as well as a player that I think the New York Giants should heavily consider targeting this upcoming free agency. Now, let's be honest, you guys. The cornerback 2 position on the New York Giants is a top 3 position of need that the Giants have to address, whether it's in free agency, whether it's in the draft, or whether it's both. Outside of James Bradberry, we do not have a solidified corner on this roster. Players like Sam Beal, DeAndre Baker, obviously, Ryan Lewis, Isaac Yiadom, Julian Love, they haven't been able to get it done at that cornerback 2 position. Now, Giants fans know that is a position where we haven't been able to properly address it, whether that's at cornerback 1, whether that's at cornerback 2, at least in the draft, we haven't been able to address the position. When you look at free agency, it's not too entirely bad, considering that, we gotten players like Janoris Jenkins, now we got James Bradberry, but when it comes to drafting players, it just seems like the Giants have no luck. So, what can the New York Giants do to address the position without having to address that position in the draft? The Giants should look at getting cornerback Desmond King. Now, hear me out. Desmond King, 5'10", 200 pounds, out of Iowa. The Chargers selected him in the 5th round of the 2017 draft. And let's be real. He settled in on a nickel corner. He was named 2018 All-Pro at the position. He was also named second-team All-Pro at the punt return position, so he has some versatility there. And that's something that Joe Judge and Patrick Graham want on this team. Players that can be versatile and that they can be used at multiple positions. Now, I really think when you look at it, the Chargers traded Desmond King primarily because they signed cornerback Chris Harris from the Broncos. He's not a bad player. His production isn't bad, but I do think that he just didn't fit that scheme when they signed a player like Chris Harris. Now, they traded him for pennies on the dollar to the Tennessee Titans. I believe they traded him for a 6th-round pick. And that was a player that I thought the New York Giants should have went out and addressed, considering the fact that it was very strange that a lot of teams weren't jumping on a player like Desmond King. Now, look, I know Desmond King played in the nickel position, and you're going to say, Hit Squad, we already have Darnay Holmes at that position. We don't need another nickel corner. That's very true. However, Desmond King can play on the outside. He's not a small player like Darnay Holmes. He's a physical player. He can really put his hands on guys. He has good hands. He has good technique. He actually has some speed on him too, so that could definitely help on the outside. It could relieve some pressure on James Bradberry because Desmond King is no scrum. When you look at Desmond King, it's hard not to really like the guy, right? In 2017, he had 66 solo tackles, 10 assists, 4 sacks, 1 interception, so he could get to the QB, so that's something that's really going to help Desmond King's value. 2018, he had 47 solo tackles, 14 assisted tackles, 3 interceptions. 2019, 40 solo tackles, 11 assisted tackles, and no interceptions. And then last year, he had 21 solo tackles, 9 assisted tackles, no interceptions, but he had a fumble recovery for a touchdown against Chicago. Now, when you look on the punt return side of the ball, it's definitely interesting, considering the fact that he has 2 touchdowns at the punt return. And from a cornerback position, that's very impressive when you ask me, considering the fact that not a lot of cornerbacks in the league will play punt returner. Usually they'll have a wide receiver play that position or a running back. There's very few teams that will be willing to put their cornerback or even a safety out there. But that's something that the New York Giants are comfortable doing. We've seen it work pretty well with Jabril Peppers, but I think that when you have a player like Desmond King on the roster, that could help Jabril Peppers, because I don't feel too comfortable with him taking as many hits as he has. I don't want to see a player like Jabril Peppers go down. So I think that if you can balance that out and put Desmond King out there, who's a proven returner, it can only help this defense, right? Now, let's be honest here. The New York Giants, we don't know our cap situation. We don't know what exactly is going to happen. But Desmond King isn't making a lot of money. He's not. And the Titans don't have a lot of money going into this year. The Titans need to address the edge position. When you have players like Yannick Ngakoue that can hit free agency, Matthew Judon that can hit free agency, there's a lot of defensive ends that can hit free agency, and that's more of a position in need that the Titans have to address than the cornerback position. To me, that was more of a luxury pick, a luxury trade for the Tennessee Titans, considering the fact that they were pretty strong in that position, even with Logan Ryan leaving the Tennessee Titans and signing with the New York Giants. So I don't expect the Tennessee Titans to look to address Desmond King and bring him back. I think that he will hit the market. I think that he'll have a fair value. Will the New York Giants get him? It's hard to say that they would, but I think that if we're being honest, it would be smart for the New York Giants to address that position and get a proven veteran player. Now, I know that the New York Giants, at least at this point, are focused on bringing back Leonard Williams and possibly Dalvin Tomlinson. So to me, those are definitely more positions of need than going to get going to get a Desmond King. But it wouldn't hurt to get this kind of a player. You know, he would help on the defensive side. He would help out James Bradberry a lot. And I think that, you know, he would definitely be an immediate upgrade over the players that we have currently on this roster. And it would open some competition for Julian Love. So, you know, I think that it wouldn't hurt the New York Giants to get him. They could probably get him on a cost-effective deal. But considering the fact that, again, we don't know how this cap situation is going to be. We don't know what the New York Giants are thinking. They could address that position, you know, in the draft, maybe in the second round or in later rounds. But if you're asking me, I would definitely want to go get a more proven player like Desmond King, because again, I think that would only help James Bradberry in this defense. But let me know your thoughts below. How are you guys feeling about this? What are some players that you guys are looking at going into this free agency? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, leave a like below, follow us on Twitter. Again, this is Hit Squad. See you guys in another video. Take it easy. What is going on?